Hey my friends, welcome back for more Reddit stories. Today we have a couple of stories from the r// stories about Kevin subreddit. As usual, sit back, relax, and let's go. My nephew is the biggest Kevin I have ever met. This is a story of my nephew's disastrous adventures, how my family demanded I cure him of stupidity, and how he was fired from each of his jobs. My family is kind of strangely staggered by age. My older brother is 37 and I'm 19. He's my only sibling, so I am by extension my nephew's only uncle. My nephew is also 19. My parents expect me to understand Kevin and to figure out what's wrong with him. Infuriatingly, they expect me to be an uncle, mentor figure to Kevin, and relate to him as a teenager. For context, let's go back to his younger years. The first true act of Kevinness that my idiot nephew pulled was his cyber attack on my dad's business site online. Kevin was only 14 when he did this. By cyber attack, I mean he went onto my dad's website. My dad sells sports memorabilia and posted porn into the comment section of the site. No, not just little porn, 7 image comments worth using a bot he found online. When he asked why, he told my dad, "All grandpas are horny. My friends at school said they are." Next was Kevin's genius 16th birthday stunt. At his party, he had a pool. He also had a garden gnome. He decided the best move for maximum coolness with his peers was to somersault off of a makeshift diving board made out of glued together 2x4s. Not only jump off the diving board, but do an acrobatic with a gnome at the same time. Kevin leaped off the diving board. Keep in mind, there were 7 other people in the pool and 3 more out of it but nearby. As Kevin kicked off the board in reverse, plunging head and back first, he slammed his feet into the gnome and kicked it straight up. As Kevin crashed into the water, the spinning gnome experienced gravity. It slammed into Kevin's leg, which pulverized and put him on crutches for 3 months. He was lucky he didn't kill one of his friends with a gnome to the head. On his first day of real work this January, Kevin got an 8 on the ACT and skipped college. Kevin was working at a gas station. He decided, since it was cold that day, that when he showed up, his best work attire would be a heavy coat and balaclava. That's right, he wore bank robber's clothes because it was cold. They almost called the police until the inevitable "It's me, Kevin," when he pulled the mask off. A week later, he was fired for cutting out a photo of a celebrity out of a magazine on sale at the store and masturbating with it in the bathroom of the store for 4 hours. Kevin is a big video gamer and actually has had some success on Twitch playing Minecraft. He has 500 subs. Why anyone would want to watch him do anything is beyond me. He probably digs straight down and mines at night. Anyway, here's a few of his misadventures in gaming. He was caught trying to play real-life Minecraft, as he put it, for YouTube. That means going in the backyard with a pickaxe and digging holes in the lawn. He bought a jar of borscht, Russian beet soup, at a grocery store and drink it on stream while playing Counter-Strike. I don't play it, but he says it has a lot of Russians and he wanted to show Super Slav energy. Next was his attempt at taking the SAT instead of ACT. Kevin refused to study for his ACT retake and scored 8, an improvement from 6 on his first try. My school offered SAT for students who failed at ACT. Kevin got a 660, which he called hard work. He also was caught in the shower giving himself a vinegar enema as punishment for failing after the ACT retake when he came home from taking it. He once went to a bank with a stack of CDs because he wanted a CD. A certificate of deposit. He also jumped on my his father's knees while he was sleeping and ran out of the room. My brother woke up groaning in pain and Kevin just admitted it out of the blue. Another time, Kevin tried to ski in the house. That's right, skiing indoors. He put snow from outside on the stairs, came barreling down and slammed face first into the Christmas tree, which collapsed like his hopes of making a nice list that Christmas. The last story I can think of to post was the time he decided to do a boogeyman impersonation last weekend. I don't care that I'm a grown woman, I freaked out on him over this one. Kevin jumped out of my closet at 2 a.m. during Thanksgiving this year. That's not the big deal. The big deal is I had thought I was alone in my room for 3 hours in pitch black before Kevin, wearing red light bulbs clipped to his glasses, leaped out of my closet shrieking like a banshee and yelling in a shrill voice, "I'm gonna eat you." A couple of weeks ago, I bought a gun unrelated to Kevin, and if I had been on the other side of the bed where I keep my gun, Kevin might have been a dead man. He scared me so good. Fast forward to the last 3 months, my family wants me to de-Kevinize him. I don't know where to start. This guy nearly tricked me into shooting him, and yet they want me to 1. Act as a mentor as his uncle, and 2. Relate to him because I'm his age. This is insane. Hope you got a kick out of hearing about my idiot nephew. Kevin asks where the frozen turkeys are on Thanksgiving Day, gets mad when I tell him where they are. I work at a grocery store that always gets slammed during the day of a major holiday or day before if we aren't open on holiday in question, because every other chain store would be sold out from last minute panic buying as well. I was just finishing up restocking what I could in the baking aisle, since that's where most of the demand comes from, and I was about to start getting ready to close when a Kevin came up and asked me, "Where are your frozen turkeys?" They would be in the frozen food section in the little bunker in the middle of the aisle, I politely said, albeit questioning why anyone would buy a frozen turkey at 4 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day. They wouldn't be able to cook it fully unless they deep fry it immediately once they came home, and that was still a snowball's chance in hell. No, the Kevin said. I don't mean those frozen turkeys. I mean the other kind of frozen turkey. Right. Oh, I'm sorry, sir, I said. Those are the only frozen turkeys we have. If you wish, we might have some hams in our meat department that are thawed and should be good by your Thanksgiving dinner. I don't want stupid ham. I want a proper frozen turkey. Your hams are properly frozen, yet I see no turkeys. It was then I realized that he meant refrigerated turkeys, not frozen ones. Sir, we don't sell refrigerated turkeys. We only have the ones in our frozen section. Why wouldn't you have a good and proper frozen turkey? Kevin asked, infuriated by the simple information given to him. Popular chain stores sells them and they are all sold out. Because they are a ginormous superstore while we are a much smaller grocery store, I explained. Now, unless you have another question, I need to get back to work. Kevin left in a huff, muttering something about how we lost a customer because we didn't sell what he wanted. I let out a sigh of relief before hearing someone behind me ask, "Excuse me, sir, where are your frozen turkeys?" I nearly lost my head before recognizing the voice as my grandfather's, who apparently was listening the whole conversation while choosing a refrigerated ham for Thanksgiving dinner. We laughed for a while about it before I had to go get ready to close up the store, and he had to go back to his house and get ready for Thanksgiving. GameStop Kevin. When I was in college, I briefly worked at GameStop because I was cool with the manager and we just kind of fucked around. It was a regular shitty retail job as you do, but then there was Kevin. Now, Kevin isn't his real name, but Kevin himself was very real. Kevin wanted to be a game designer and was enrolled in one of those transparently grifting online programs. He told me how much it cost, and it was more expensive than my actual city university tuition. I asked him what game he wanted to design, and he told me his master vision was for a fighting game starring office supplies. So like a pair of scissors fighting a protractor. One time we were doing a release for some sports game and my manager set up a grill outside to cook hot dogs and stuff. The hot dogs were free, but nobody was eating them because Kevin was turning them with his bare fingers. Sometimes when deluxe editions of games were moving, we would unpack the deluxe content and sell the game on its own. The freebies would be dispersed to employees on first come first serve. This is the only freebie Kevin ever took. Kevin once told me he could hold on his own in a fight and then immediately fell off a ladder. Kevin desperately wanted to be a manager, but the boss never let it happen, on account of Kevin getting more customer complaints than literally the rest of us combined. Kevin once challenged a customer to a Dance Dance Revolution contest, and the customer said, okay. So Kevin went home and got his own DDR mat and brought it to the store, and the customer just never came back. Kevin hit on every woman he encountered. One time he went to another store to cover a shift and introduced himself to be religious married store manager with, "Hey, I'm Kevin. Do you believe in the fairy tale known as the Bible?" He had never met her before. Kevin once had an argument with a customer declaring that Yoshi has no gender in a packed store. Kevin wasn't allowed to work register on Black Friday because he would tell customers to wait for better sales. So those were the Kevin stories of today's video. If you enjoyed it, a thumbs up would help support the channel, and I will see you in the next one.